What's going on, everybody? Today we are taking a look at the Kizer Vanguard Tanto, a Enzo May and Reyknife collaboration knife. All right, I knew I'd spit it out eventually here. I really like this knife. I do have something to say about it that is a little on the negative side, but this knife is really broken in very nicely. I like the square patterned machined G10. Very good traction on this knife. The detent is awesome. I mean, just it flips open with just ease. I mean, it takes no real effort at all. It doesn't. You can shake it. It's not a weak detent, but it's not a super strong detent either. It's really good middle of the ground. You do have to be careful. Your detent right there, so you can see where that's right where it locks. I mean, I like it up there, especially on a flipper knife, because you can catch the flipper tab with your thumb. Then you can move your thumb and it, bam, just shuts right away. Okay, so let's just do a quick little comparison size-wise. Let's just put it up against a knife that is very comparable, which is the Civivi Brazen. Very comparable in size, even though it doesn't look like it, but they are very, very comparable in size overall. Really comparable in the handle, but I am going to point out something that maybe you didn't notice yet. But let's also bring in the PM2 Tanto. Again, pretty comparable in size and overall shape, except for the PM2's got a little bit of an arch, an overall arch, where the other knives are a little straighter. So, but overall, size-wise, they are very comparable, as you can see. I mean, the angle is kind of misleading, but they are very much the same. So, let's get to the... it is a little thinner blade than the Brazen. The Brazen's got a little more blade. So, if you like a little more of a tall blade, the Brazen has a little more tallness to it. But this knife came very sharp. The overall design is very nice. Like I said, a lot of grippy pattern with the scales. It's got some nice jimping right there. Very functional. You can really get a really good grip on it and really manipulate it the way you need to manipulate it, depending on what you're doing. The only negative side is right here. I think it's just maybe just a cut out a little too much, because when you're holding the knife, and if you just so happen to just tweak your finger, you can see, you probably see, it's kind of hard for me to, as you're kind of manipulating, you can actually release that lock a little too easy. So if you look compared to the Civivi, you can see how much, it's kind of hard to tell with the black, but the access to the lock is a lot easier on the Kizer. And that does kind of, when your finger is in there, when you're kind of manipulating it, you can kind of release that lock pretty easily if you're kind of pulling on it. So that is something to be aware of. I mean, this knife is not designed to be a hard use knife necessarily, so you're probably not going to be maybe manipulating it quite that way, that you're going to be moving your finger. But it, as you can see, it can happen with the fat of your finger, and I have skinny fingers, so it can kind of do it. But for the most part, if you're kind of holding it right and you're not really using it for any hard intensive work, you probably not got nothing to worry about. It's just that it really does unlock pretty easy. The lockup is good. It's about, it's a good 25%. It's broken in pretty decently, and so it will go over more, but it's just not a very stiff liner lock either. I mean, not that the Civivi is either. I mean, I'd say the Civivi is probably definitely stiffer. That the Civivi is kind of really is locking a lot more, and you're not gonna Yeah, see, I can't. Yeah, I guess I can, but it's a lot harder to do to kind of get your finger in there to try to, kind of move. That is a disadvantage with liner locks. If they're carved out too much, you can kind of get access to that lock and unlock it. But overall, this knife, like I said, I've used it a bunch of times, and it's been a really nice knife. Like I said, it's got a great sharp edge. It still has very much its edge on it. I wouldn't say I put it through anything hard, any real excessive hard tasks, cardboard, some tape, some of your average overall YouTuber type stuff, and some stuff at work, but nothing, get that beef jerky bag open real quick. And that's pretty much it. Nothing excessive yet, but I've flipped it a ton of times. I like I said, I enjoy it. It's very fidget friendly. Obviously the flipper tab is the only deployment mechanism, which is kind of the cool thing with the Civivi, because you do have thumb studs, and so it would have been nice maybe if they put some thumb studs. They got a fuller in there, but it's really kind of useless. You can't really get your finger in there enough to access it to use it. So it's just really for looks more than anything. But overall, this knife's a pretty cool knife. It's $75, I think, and $6.90. So overall, it's a pretty nice knife. It's, like I said, it's very, very comparable to the Civivi. This is D2, and it's like $50. So, and I don't have the other one handy, but Civivi does have the other one that's in $6.90, which is actually $10 more than this one. So, but this overall, like I said, cool knife, very nice. It's very comparable to the Civivis, and so I'm interested to see what Kizer does in the future. Definitely, they are definitely stepping up their game with their knives. That's for sure. So we'll see what they come up with next. What kind of designers they bring up, and what knives they bring to the table, and the price ranges. That's the big thing anymore. The price range on these budget knives with Civivi, it's just the bar has been raised, and a lot of these companies really have to bring their A game to compare. So we'll see what happens. That's it for today, guys. We will catch you next time on the next one. Have a great day. Bye.